The moment that all of you MAGA guys has been waiting for. Donald Trump is back. He is bringing back those famous rallies. Finally, he will once again speak before the adoring crowds of neo-Nazis, QAnon supporters, anti-vaxxers, and suburban Karens. But be warned, if you want in, you're going to have to sign your life away. In this case, almost literally, according to the registration form to Donald Trump's Juneteenth rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, by clicking register below, you are acknowledging that an inherent risk of exposure to COVID-19 exists in any public place where people are present. By attending the rally, you and any guests voluntarily assume all risks related to exposure to COVID-19 and agreed not to hold Donald J. Trump for President, Incorporated, BOK Center, ASM Global, or any of their affiliates, directors, officers, employees, agents, contractors, or volunteers liable for any illness or injury. Wait a minute, I thought COVID-19 was a Democrat hoax. I mean, it's like cold, right? Well, I mean, they don't make people sign waivers for colds. Well, now, why would they have you sign a waiver for COVID-19? That's weird. Well, it's maybe because it's real, maybe because it's not like a cold. And maybe because Oklahoma is failing spectacularly when it comes to coronavirus, COVID-19. In fact, the state, after reopening its economy last month, has recorded more than 7,600 coronavirus cases and at least 357 deaths. Now, what's interesting about this rally, and there's plenty, right? But that rally is supposed to take place inside the BOK Center, as I mentioned, which has a capacity of 19,200 seats. It's a lot of seats, right? Now, will he fill that? I mean, it's technically possible. It's not like Donald Trump doesn't get some big crowds, depending on where he goes. Oklahoma, I guess, is pretty friendly territory. And so, yeah, he may get some pretty big crowds there. All right. Will he get 19,000 people? I don't necessarily know. That said, do you think that if they fill this, right, to capacity, will there be any social distancing? No, absolutely not. Of course not. In fact, as the Associated Press reported, Arena Marketing Director Megan Blood said Thursday that she didn't know yet about any plans for social distancing or other coronavirus precautions for Trump's rally, which would be one of the larger public gatherings in the U.S. at this stage of the outbreak. Yes, I mean, that would be a rather large gathering of people with no protection whatsoever. Do you think they're going to be wearing masks? Does Donald Trump wear a mask? Does Donald Trump urge people around him to wear masks? No, he does not. Do they socially distance or physically distance? But keep 6 feet away from other people? No, he doesn't urge that at all. This is going to be a disaster, an absolute disaster. I mean, again, nobody's going to be wearing masks. In fact, Donald Trump, if he sees a mask, he's probably going to make fun of that person. That's what Trump supporters do. They make fun of people wearing masks. Oh, wearing a mask. You're falling for that liberal propaganda. Sheep. What a sheep. That's what they do. So this is going to be a den of COVID. Believe me. Everybody knows it. Everyone except for the people who plan on going. Which is why, by the way, you had the Trump team go, this is going to be a disaster. This is going to be COVID-19. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make everybody sign a waiver, so at least we're not liable for it. Now, Catherine Sharkey, cool name, by the way, professor at New York University School of Law, told CNN on Thursday that liability waivers are likely to become commonplace in the U.S. as states continue the process of reopening their economies. So no doubt, everybody knows what's going on. And so everybody is going to be forced to sign waivers so that they don't hold their workplaces, I mean, I could even see that, and this is real dystopian stuff, right? I could even see workplaces saying, "Hey, if you want a job, you need to sign a waiver to make sure that we don't have any liability in case you get coronavirus on the job." That is our term and condition for being able to, employ you. Well, now wait a minute. If I don't have a job, I can't make money. I can't survive. We're not going to get the unemployment benefits past July. And so how am I going to survive without getting a job? Well, that's your problem. Now sign this waiver, or else you can just go F off somewhere else, because we don't care. Do you think that is a possibility that's going to happen? Almost guaranteed. I may have just given them an idea. Although, honestly, if they hadn't already thought of it, they're kind of bad at what they do. I'm just saying. Now, going back to Ms. Sharkey here, she said, they only give limited protections, so they never would protect against, for example, gross negligence or recklessness. One could argue that holding a large public gathering that will draw people together in the context of which they're not able to do social distancing or following the directive of the CDC, etc., one could argue that is grossly negligent. Gross and negligent are two words you could definitely ascribe to Donald Trump, his presidency, and his campaign, and Donald Trump himself. I'm just saying. Those two words go very well together with Trump. Gross and negligent. Just saying. All right, that's it. Another quote here from Robert Weissman, who was the president and consumer advocacy group Public Citizen. He warned in a statement late on Thursday that indoor campaign rallies are, quote, extremely likely to spread the coronavirus, particularly if Trump discourages attendees from wearing masks, either explicitly or by example. Again, do you think he's going to urge that? Of course not. And so he says the Trump campaign may have shied away from such a move if it could be held accountable for the resulting illness and potential deaths that are likely to follow. Meaning that he really doesn't care about his people. He doesn't care about his fan base. All he cares about is if they're able to go out and vote for him and support him monetarily and support him in polls. That's really it. That's all he wants. He doesn't care about their lives. All he cares about is their support. And so if they get coronavirus and they die, or they get really, really sick and end up in the hospital on a ventilator, and then spread it to to family members and friends, does he give a crap? Does he care at all? No, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about you. And that's the thing. Like, I know I have this thing where I'm like where it seems like I'm trying to like preach to MAGA people who don't care. I mean, you're furiously typing away, calling me a libtard and an idiot and all that. I don't care. Right? I don't really care about you. I mean, I care about humanity. I care about the people that you're going to hurt with your stupid decisions. Because guess what? You don't live in a vacuum. We all kind of share this space, this public space. And so your actions hurt other people. And if you're hurting other people, then we got a problem. And so that's the thing. I got a problem if you start hurting other people with your stupid decisions. And that's what this is going to end up being. They're going to go into this area. They're going to all one or two people are going to come in. They're going to have coronavirus. They'll probably be either asymptomatic or whatever, not wear a mask, not do any physical distancing, and then they're going to get everybody else sick. There's going to be a significant part of that, up to 90,000 people in that one area, if he even manages to fill it, and then a significant portion are going to go home. They're going to get their family sick. They're going to get their friends sick. And then there's going to be even bigger, massive outbreak in not only Oklahoma, but everywhere else that he's planning on going. This isn't the first stop. It won't be the last stop. And so getting back to Weissman here, he says the Trump campaign aims to escape liability and any measure of accountability by forcing attendees to waive their rights through contract terms that they are unlikely even to notice. You think they're going to even, read the fine print? Of course not. And even if they do know, they're going to sign away those rights. They're going to gladly do it. Then they're going to brag about not wearing masks. They bathe in their ignorance like hogs in the mud. And then, of course, when the bill is due, well, who's going to pay for it, right? Who's going to pay for it when they overload the hospital system? Who's going to pay for it, right? And I don't just mean in monetary terms, but this cost is a human cost. And it's going to be rather terrible. But you know who's not going to pay for it? The ringleader of this circus. The man pushing this ignorance and enabling the worst behavior of people. And he is right at the top, Donald Trump. One more quote here. This is from Miranda Yaver, who's a political scientist. She says that the president knows his campaign rallies have significant potential to be super spreader events. His campaign rallies have significant, I read that, especially as many states see increases in coronavirus cases and hospitalizations. Oklahoma, of course, is one of them. Florida's another one, had a massive jump. North Carolina, many, many others. But Yaver wrote this, quote, "He doesn't care so long as he's not liable." Classic Trump. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.